The safety stopper is specifically designed for gas-free open-gut service T renewal or abandonment for Ts without a flow control mechanism such as an internal tapper. It increases worker safety by eliminating the dangers of uncontrolled blowing gas. Over the years, many different T styles were installed, making repair or retirement difficult using standard equipment. The safety stopper works on many Ts using specialized adapters. Many Ts do not have an internal stopper to shut down the service branch, so companies employ expensive line stopper procedures to comply, leading to increased restoration cost. The safety stopper stops off open gut Ts in a standard excavation, saving money while enhancing safety. Increases in pipeline pressures due to population growth cause leaks on outdated service Ts that need renewal. Now, gas companies have a tool in the engineering arsenal to repair thousands of outdated services safely. Tool implementation can be perceived as expensive rather than an investment in safety. Many achieve cost savings after 1 or 2 tool uses, while complying with Rule 114 to reduce methane emissions. Savings include reduces costs by eliminating bypass procedures, reduces excavation costs by only uncovering the work area, no wasted service calls from reports of gas odors, no need for personal air supply, saving bottled air cost and periodic OQ. So, how does it work? First, identify the type of T, either a cap or plug T. Cap Ts are sealed under the cap and plug Ts are sealed around the plug. The tool secures a ball valve on the T as the control point using a turnbuckle-style chain fastening system and unique sealing mechanism. Added safety and specialized attachments with a controlled feed remove the cap or plug and stop the gas using a rubber plug or a unique screw-in plug. Now the T is safely cut and capped or renewed without the release of gas. This video will show the operational steps on a service T with a cap. To begin, remove all dirt down to white metal from the T and slightly loosen the cap to break the initial seal. Install the rubber seals, one with the round side up and the other down, and locate them under the cap. Please note that only one seal and one disc is used for 3/4 and 1.5 inch Ts. Next, assemble the compression assembly comprised of the housing and J-loop half collars, and tighten the nuts by hand. Then assemble the cap adapter onto the 3/4 drive shaft using the hex wrench. This is used to maintain assembly alignment while tightening. Tighten nuts evenly. Do not over-tighten. Fit all 4 J-hook turnbuckles. Secure the assembly with the 2 chains. Tighten turnbuckles in a diametrically opposed sequence to evenly secure the assembly. Do not over-tighten. Install the 2.5 inch to 3 inch ball valve adapter. Tighten with the bar wrench so the adapter bottoms out onto the housing, compressing the O-ring to create the seal. Install the ball valve in the same manner. Carefully slide the cap removal adapter over the shaft and tighten. Slide the shaft collar over the shaft. Install the safety feed assembly and connect the 5/8 socket. Now we are ready to remove the cap. Once you fit the wrench over the shaft hex and wind down the feed clockwise so the socket fits firmly over the hex, begin loosening the cap. You may need to maintain slight downward pressure to start loosening, but eventually, as the cap travels upwards and disconnects from the T, turn the hand crank slowly counterclockwise to bring the cap to above the ball valve. Tighten the shaft collar. Close the ball valve. Open the small bleed valve to release the excess gas before feed assembly removal. Remove the housing and shaft with the captured cap. Now we can insert the rubber stopper. Choose the correct size rubber stopper to insert into the throat of the T to stop the flow of gas to the service branch. Insert the rubber stopper shaft into the stopper housing. Locate the end of the rubber stopper so it touches the top of the main. Then line up the lip edge of the ball valve with the top housing thread and tighten the collar. This will ensure the rubber stopper will deploy at the proper depth. Connect the 1/4 inch socket and install the safety feed. Fit the 1/4 inch socket onto the shaft hex. Open the ball valve. Turn the crank arm clockwise to lower the stopper to the desired location. Once the collar touches the housing, begin tightening the stopper by turning the drive nut clockwise until noticeable resistance is felt. Then, open the bleed valve. Once the sound of blowing gas is no longer heard, the service outlet is safely stopped. After completing renewal or abandonment procedures, reverse the previous operational steps to remove the equipment. Turn the drive nut counterclockwise to loosen the stopper. Turn the hand crank counterclockwise to bring up the stopper to above the ball valve. Close the ball valve. Open the bleeder valve to bleed off the excess gas. Remove the safety feed. Remove the plug housing. Reinstall the cap adapter assembly with the cap attached to tighten it onto the T. Install the safety feed. Fit the wrench over the shaft hex and wind down the feed clockwise so the socket fits firmly over the hex. Then open the ball valve. Continue to turn the hand crank clockwise, moving the shaft downwards to make contact with the T. Install the cap using the wrench while slightly turning the hand crank clockwise to maintain downward pressure as the cap tightens onto the T. Once the cap is tight, open the bleed valve to bleed off the excess gas. If the sound of blowing gas is no longer heard, the cap is installed correctly. Now you may begin to remove the assembly. After checking to make sure the cap is not on the adapter, then install the viewport and check the cap again. Remove the ball valve. Remove the adapter. Disassemble the chains. And remove the rest of the assembly. Fully tighten the cap with the wrench. Now the operation is complete.